Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to M.A.R.S for another pre-order breakdown. Today we are looking at my new anticipated figure for 2025, and that of course is the Gamerverse Cyclops from SH Figuarts. We've got two updates going into this pre-order, so strap yourself in, drop that like button. If this video gets 100 likes, I will review this figure outdoors in the nature settings. Even if it doesn't get that, I'm still going to review it. So let's go. The first thing I want to talk about is going to be the newly listed promotional image for this figure. I like that we're getting this frontal shot of Cyclops. It makes the figure appear to be more beefier than what it originally did when it first was announced last week. And what I mean by that is if you go over here and look at the shoulders here on this side shot here, you can see they look to be a little bit flat. I feel like they should be a little bit rounder and just bigger, but with this shot here, you can see that you can mimic it to make it appear to be bigger and beefier, which is cool. I like that idea. Another thing that a lot of people are or a lot of people in the community, reviewers, everyone, they're kind of upset with this whole thong piece. For me, it doesn't bother me. You know, we've seen this with Deadpool. I think we've seen it with Wolverine. It seems to be in the Spider-Mans. This is their Marvel aesthetic. It doesn't matter if it's a Marvel Gameverse. It doesn't matter if it's Marvel Universe, Marvel Comics. This is like their aesthetic for their Marvel characters across the boards, okay? Which is fine at this point. You know, it is what it is. If you don't want it, don't get it. If you're curious about the figure, get it and just overlook the whole thong piece. But that's it on that front. And then another thing within the community that a lot of people were kind of pissed about was the height of the figure. Tamashii Nations has updated this listing today. It was a mistake. They did not mean to list it as 145. The actual listing is 155. So for those of us out there thinking that Tamashii Nations is listening to us, the consumers, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. This was just a mistake. Unless they're trying to come out and make it as if it was a mistake, which they are, there's your answer. It's different to say, hey, we heard your feedback, we're making the changes. No, that's not what they said. They said it was listed incorrectly. So they're not listening to the fans. We shouldn't create that narrative because that's not the case. They made a mistake. They realized they made a mistake and they made the adjustments. They were not listening to the fans. With that out of the way, you know, the aesthetic of this figure, it looks great. I think it should be a darker blue. This does remind me of that metallic blue from like M.A.R.S, which is arguably the best Cyclops figure to have right now, and that is available right now. A bit expensive, so this is going to be your next bet, and you could pretty much call this little bro at this point. You know, little bro with a different engineering and modifications and things like that. It is what it is. And then we're getting this paperback here as well for the figure. Let's take a look at that. I think for this, it's going to be hit or miss. It all just depends on how big the packaging is. Because you can see we're looking at these long rectangles here, right? They're probably going to stack these two pieces because it's two different paperbacks here. They're going to stack those two and then putting into the packaging of the figure. All of this stuff can get creased, it can get ripped, it can get bent. It all depends on how big the packaging is. If it's an oversized package, then we should be safe. But probably the package is going to be the same size of these paperbacks, which is going to be interesting to see how they arrive and how you're able to pull them out. I had an issue with my Tekken 8 Kazuya Mishima to where, you know, because they provide the backdrops with those releases as well. And I had creases, I had rips and shit like that. So you may encounter that with this release, which, you know, could down the scoring for reviewers and things like that. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm very excited for this release. I know a lot of you are as well. You can go over to Nin Game and get notified when this figure is going to be back up for pre-order. It's sold out on 3 different websites that I go to. The same for Hobby the same for Yoyaku now. It is all sold out. Your best bet is to be up tonight around 10:30 so that you can get your pre-order on Ami. Ami is going to have this figure up for pre-order over in Japan tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So for those of us who want to get this figure, that would be our best bet for international pre-order. Domestically, who knows when those pre-orders are going to go live. It could go live today. It could go live by Friday. Not quite sure. But if you want to get this pre-order secured internationally and get this figure in November or December or whenever it's going to be coming out, International pre-order is the best bet, and going to Ami right now, unless you've got your pre-order in, Ami is your best bet. Thank you all for watching this brief pre-order breakdown. Are you excited for the Gamerverse Cyclops? I know I am. I can't wait to scale and do some photos or videos with the Storm Arena figures. We've got Ken, we've got Ryu. So we're looking and heading into a great year, 2025. We started off strong with Storm Arena and their Street Fighter Alpha 3 line, and now we've got the Hasbro's Marvel Gamerverse and the SH Figuarts Gamerverse. Very interesting dynamic. They're bringing in Cyclops, Marvel, and Hasbro's. They're bringing in a whole bunch of figures. I'm curious to see if Tamashii is going to reveal another Marvel character, or are they going to do something that not everyone can be able to do and give us both Marvel and Capcom? Wouldn't it be crazy if we got a Street Fighter Alpha 3 Ryu from SH Figuarts so that they can do it over again? Let's be honest, the SH Figuarts Ryu is trash, bro. It's like, although a lot of people favor it more over the Jada, and that's fair, but it still is bad. So let's see what happens from SH Figuarts. We have a lot to look forward to. San Diego Comic-Con is about 25 days away. More than likely, we're going to get another Gamerverse reveal, and I'm very excited to see what it is. Or it could be a Capcom, as I just mentioned. I think SH Figuarts would be perfect for them to do Resident Evil Jill Valentine, but that's my wish and probably would never come true. I'm leaving it up to SH Figuarts and Storm Collectibles, or Storm Arena at this point. Thank you all for watching. Comment below. Let me know, did you pre-order this figure? And just how excited you are. And we'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.